Hello everyone, this is Pal Ponder on Weather coming at you with another video. In this update, we're going to be talking about Tropical Storm Eta that looks to become a hurricane, if not a major hurricane, as it moves westward in the Caribbean, impacting Nicaragua, and then possibly turning northward towards the United States with major impacts along the way. So before I get started, if you do like weather-related content, please subscribe to my channel, as I will upload about 5 videos a week to keep you updated. And I do ask you to share this video with your friends and family that may be impacted along the way from Eta. So let's kind of delve into the details. Here is the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center as of 4 a.m. It is now officially a tropical storm overnight, moving 15 miles an hour westward. It's basically south of Jamaica, and this will propagate westward throughout the day today and tomorrow, and potentially become a hurricane by even as early as tomorrow afternoon, and make a beeline towards Honduras, Nicaragua area as a 90 mile per hour hurricane. And it could even be potentially even stronger than that. Then after that, the uncertainty lies as it moves inland, and you can kind of see the turn northward. This only goes out 5 days, but there are indications that it could possibly come back out and essentially regenerate over the Caribbean. And it's also a possibility it could go through what they call rapid intensification. And this is the official wording from the National Hurricane Center. Rapid intensification is basically if it ramps up more than 35 miles per hour over a 24-hour time frame, that would be considered rapid intensification. And actually 1 out of 3 storms meet that criteria. But right now, the official guidance has it a 90 mile per hour hurricane as it makes landfall, and this will strengthen and be at its peak towards landfall. And here's some of the guidance that I'm really kind of concerned about. Eta is expected to strengthen into a hurricane early next week and head towards the coast of Central America with some very heavy rainfall over portions of Nicaragua, Honduras, where there's already hurricane watches and warnings for that area. But now through Thursday, so this is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way, heavy rainfall from Eta may lead to life-threatening flash flooding or river flooding, along with landslides in areas of higher terrain and across portions of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, southern coast of Hispaniola, Honduras, and Nicaragua. So if you're in these areas, you're going to be hit with torrential rain over the next 5 days from Eta. Even though the center may not be over you, you're still going to be impacted from Eta. So why are we having such an active year? So let me kind of take you back. Here is the ocean temperatures. We're basically what they call in a La Nina pattern right now. We actually, unfortunately, met that La Nina criteria back in September the 10th, which was the exact peak of hurricane season. And you can see the very cold waters in the equatorial Pacific, and that pretty much basically has lighter shear over the Atlantic, and then amplifies the warm waters over in the Atlantic as well. And then it's just a little bit more less sheared environment and more conducive phase for tropical storm development. And we unfortunately hit that peak right around September 10th. And here's the Enzo phase, essentially. This is the neutral phase, and we were on the trajectory course of going into La Nina as we were entering the hurricane season. Here's what it was in August. And then it finally met the criteria back on September 10th, which was the exact date of the peak of hurricane season. That's why we had such an amplified September, and we've only been going downhill ever since. And so that's why this continues to be a really active year in the tropics, and Eta will be matching the 2005 record from that year. And here's the overall glance of the entire year. We have essentially had a storm developed in May that made landfall in the United States every single month: May, June, July, August, September, October, November. And you can see the peak of where we had a bullseye in September, where we hit La Nina phase, and we are actually in an active MJO phase, which I'll go over here in a little bit. But yeah, we hit 12 storms during that time frame, and unfortunately, it lined up at the peak of hurricane season. And now the MJO, basically, it's a mechanism that travels around the globe every 45 to 60 days. And unfortunately, this is where we're at. We're in the same type of setup where we were in September coming up. But luckily, it's November and not September, because we're going, downhill. The tropical storm season is ending, coming up. But right now, over the next 2 weeks, we are going back into a very active phase in the tropics, going into phase 8, phase 1, phase 2. These are active phases. This is November 1st. Over the next 2 weeks, this basically goes through phase 8 and phase 1, and then you can actually see it makes a beeline towards the neutral phase towards the end of the pattern around the 10th to the 14th. That could imply that we could have another possibly in close development of making a landfall towards the United States at the end of that period. Let me kind of walk you through and take you back of where we are right now with ETA. So here's the latest satellite, and you can see where the center is. This is well away. There's thunderstorm development well away from the center. And so you don't have to be by the center to have impacts. And so as the day progresses in Jamaica, things will go downhill in a big way, with a very heavy rainfall spreading in from east to west across the island. And this will be only intensifying throughout the day as we have daytime heating down in the thunderstorms rise and start to develop over that same area. But here's the latest hurricane simulated satellite feature. This is 24 hours from now, and this is kind of where it shows basically where ETA possibly could be. It has 1,003 millibar, 40 mile per hour tropical storm by then, and this is by 48 hours. It already has it developing possibly into a hurricane. This is the center. Impacts well away from the center. You can't even actually see Jamaica, just being inundated from very heavy rainfall, as well as the Cayman Islands as well. So this whole area, as this storm develops, will be locked in for torrential rain. And by this is 66 hours from now, this actually drops it all the way down to a 962 millibar. This would be a very strong Category 2 hurricane by then. This is only 66 hours from now. So this ramps up quick in a big way as this moves westward. And if this particular model, which is the hurricane model, and the National Hurricane Center did say, hey, we could have rapid intensification. This could drop it down to a 946 millibar. This would be basically a Category 3 hurricane with major impacts on Nicaragua and Honduras, with some very heavy rain and some rain lagging behind as well in the Cayman Islands. And if we take you through Thursday, this brings it inward and kind of dissipates. But unfortunately, there's a piece of it looks to lag behind the circulation. So this will be a culprit later on in the period. This definitely looks like it's going inward, but it also definitely looks like there's a piece of it that's going to be lagging behind that could regenerate by the end of this week. Here's the latest ensembles from the European and the GFS. Most of them have it going inward into Central America, possibly stalling out, and then going back over the Caribbean. This would be obviously catastrophic, but if this looks like to happen, but this definitely looks like it could happen. There's a lot of consistency after this makes landfall. So this is about Friday, Saturday time frame. It could be possibly going back over the Caribbean and regenerate. And that's the same thing the GFS ensemble member guidance has as pretty much implying the same thing. This is the overall guidance from the latest tracks from ETA. And by hour 144 by day 5 or 6, this could be coming back over the Caribbean and re-intensifying and aggravating the problem. So we're going to be dealing with ETA for a long time, unfortunately, and this is between the now and day 11. This is through November the 11th, has it coming back and re-intensifying and possibly becoming a hurricane again. If it keeps the same circulation, it will keep the same name as ETA, and then re-intensifying. And then we have to watch out for the United States, Cuba, into Florida for a potential landfall then, and having impacts and around Florida. And here's the latest GFS guidance. This is just one individual model run, but this just kind of gives you an idea of what we may be looking at after ETA makes landfall and then spreads into Belize with heavy rainfall as well. Then it comes back and regenerates over basically the Cayman Islands area, and then progresses, northward throughout the time frame. And this is by next weekend. We could be dealing with a storm by Cuba, by the tip of Florida. And so then steering currents get very light by then because there's a ridge across the United States north. And this could stall out. I mean, it's just in a really unfortunate situation. There's going to be very light steering currents by then, and we could again have a slower system of ETA. And this is what I'm really concerned about, because over the next 10 days, I mean, if we're talking a storm that's progressing westward for 4 days across Central America, and then possibly coming back and then regenerating over the Cayman Islands into Cuba, going towards Florida over a 10-day time span, this would be catastrophic flooding over the island of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, into Cuba, into Florida, down towards Honduras, Nicaragua area. So dealing with an extreme amount of rainfall over the next 10 days. I mean, these were upward of 20, 25, if not more inches of rainfall. So this is unfortunately a really bad situation that's looking to maybe unfold all throughout the week. Next week with ETA, I plan on doing 2 updates a day on ETA to keep you informed of this storm. So please like this video. Please leave your comments below, and definitely subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell to get notified to catch me in the next update, where I protect you before and after the storm.